not too bad. At least you're at the top of the leaderboard on that one. So still a lot of deciders, because once you get down lower and lower and lower, the second seed has a lot of say over later things in playoffs. So Rose warping right off the bat here. It's an explosive start to the game. No barrier taken, though, with a great defense here from the boys, even as time counters. And they're going forward once again. Juliet on the bottom here trying to get the barrier, but it's not going to happen. Kai pushing forward here. I appear to be name bugged as well, so I do apologize for that. But Era going down to the bottom here. Pick up here. Estelle taking so much damage, but will not die. Rasmus up the top here. Not going to claim the first barrier, even with a pendulum swing. The butching beam as well came out there, and it is just defense all across the board.
Yeah, and Scyther as well making an appearance here, importantly, for the side of Demon Time. That is a brawler that we have not seen in quite a while. Last seen on the Bun Bun Bonanza, now disbanded, now partially retired. And we'll see how he performs on the signature Rasmus. But as both barriers go down, defense is once again the question.
Now, Era, though, flashing the Atlas defending emote, and is not going to be enough there. It is going to be Bells claiming the first goal for the boys on this one. Well played to both teams there. I mean, it was a pretty good first point there. Really even for the first half, but then the boys just kind of got some momentum. You're going to see how this goes in the next one, but the momentum not really going one way or the other just yet. It's another midfield brawl.
Yeah, screen share's up now. And Bell's the one with meter. Vaughn as well. The flip's going to be used to great effect on the offense. Both barriers down already, but forced on the defense is Vaughn once more. Scyther looking to be a threat. One barrier taken with the help of the Joker. And now Vaughn taken low, a KO potentially, as Kainu forced the flip out of Gumi, the former teammates, looking like enemies now as Joker has built up so much. Scyther as well, the Rasmus looking, but unable to find an opportunity. No, finds the pendulum swing, has the flip available, goes for it all, but Vaughn will just deflect it away, and now Joker has to play defense, but a great punch from Bells will secure the point.
It is a tragedy for Demon Time there. They had a great pendulum swing off a Scyther 12 there, but unfortunately the core just slipped by, and unfortunately the Joker just was not able to core flip in time to catch it. That's going to be a second point for the boys here, and they seem to be running away with set pendulum swing though. Fighting back is Demon Time. Second barrier going to be claimed there with the core flip. The Juliet punch not enough for it. Throws up forward and actually into death. Estelle off the field. First blood drawn here as Demon Time is trying to push forward. They're trying to get the pass around, but a great interception here. Bells on this Julie just playing aggro and actually managed to claim a barrier off the back of the pass here, back of the power play here. Estelle also pushing forward. Barrage from the Kai, not enough to get it through. Barrier will still stand for the side of Demon Time, but they're on thin ice now that the Estelle is back in play. Juliet taking a little bit of damage, but will live for now, but will claim barrier as well.
Oh, Bells in the midst of it all finds a strike opportunity, unable to get it. Now brought incredibly low, but a good evade away from the death touch. Keeps the Juliet alive now, and the Sad Boys are playing slowly here. They want to secure this point. They want to secure the set, but Bells is still staggered.
Yeah, Bells is the prime target here, and of course you have Erasmus with the death touch that could kill at any moment, but Bells staying alive here, even in the goalie, but the Giggle Blast almost gets things done. The core flip was going to whiff there, unfortunately, from the Era, and we do have a pass up to the top corner here. Pass from the now to the Rasmus, dribble up, but it's interrupted by the Roseworth. Witching Beam comes out as well. Strike wars all around, but Juliet does not get the finish on the goal there. Death Touch goes wide. Sentry Drone actually gets it in there. Whiplash is not enough either. The defense from Vaughn is insane on this one, as the goal somehow was not scored through all of that. Core flip on now, going to be used in the face of the Giggle Blast, and the piercing shot goes all the way around, but it's intercepted once again.
Core speed getting a little bit uncomfortable now as Gumi forced to defend the open net as Era bounces back towards Vaughn, who manages to find a defense. And now Bells looking for a rebound, looking for a snipe from Kainoob, unable to do so. Gumi playing some proactive defense here, but defense isn't enough. You need to find an offensive opportunity. Gumi gets the read on Bells, moves just right, and now Scyther set up perfectly. Waits out the barrage, predicts the strike from Vaughn. A picture-perfect point for Demon Time as Scyther 12 comes in clutch.
I mean, you say halfway in retirement here, but I think that was all the way back in. Brilliantly played there by Scyther 12 with the perfect read, the perfect plays. Crystal Thorns almost putting it through, but again, the defense here, even defensively from the Rasmus, not going to be enough in the face of the Juliet punch there. One barrier going down, which is the first for now. Second one not soon to follow, just quite, as the defense from Vaughn is going to stave it off for a little bit longer, but it is picked up in the end. One barrier to one barrier so far. Piercing shot getting a little bit of damage on the Rasmus, but no kill found, no Quangle there. Giggle Blast goes wide, and Gumi trying to push up the top here. Juliet with the flurry, with the core flip as well in front of that, not going to be able to find too much here. We also have Vaughn playing very far up on the Kai. Pass back to the Estelle, down to the bottom here. Throws where piercing shot goes wide, but it doesn't matter. Barrier goes down, core flip comes through. Juliet not going to opt to use the core flip there. Unfortunately, does not secure the goal, but will get the kill flip, and that style points as well into the goal. just stalling for a little bit to get the maximum value possible, and BOIS with a very dominant set 1.
Yeah, that's classic Sad Boys there. Scyther 12 proved to be a bit of a threat, but heading into the draft now, they are in full control, and who else to get the first pick but Bells the Brawler, who has done so much for this team in terms of goal scoring potential here, will just spark it up. And that's going to be scary heading later into the draft potentially, as Monumental Azera, also Gumi, a huge factor on the back line. And I think the pick that matters most in this draft is Vaughn getting a Dash Awakening on the Kai goalie. He's going to be so proactive across the entire map. That's going to be scary, especially when Scyther is denied a Size Awakening.
Yeah, and especially not only just a Dash Awakening, it's explosive entrance, which means that the Giga Blast is going to hit that much harder, that much faster on the core. That is said, it does have to hit the core for that, unfortunately. But it is going to be one barrier going down very quick to the BOIS. The second one not going to fall. Great defense there from Gumi. As we finally have a barrage coming through. Kai all the way on the other side here. Barrier will go down in the face of so much aggression from the BOIS, as Scyther 12 running forward with Speed gets hit by the core, and that's going to mean that there's no resource available in midfield there. No way to catch up, as the core just goes once again back and forth. The strike not quite found. The Soren angle hit there by Gumi there, as we have now running forward. Rose Orb into the own barrier, unfortunately, but does stop a double barrier from happening, so it's not too bad in the end. Piercing Shot gets it forward, but Gumi's there to catch.
Gumi now in the open net once more. Giga Blast going to set up for Kainoob on the top side, waiting patiently for the flip strike. Goes for a rebound off the center, off target, as Bell's now with the flip of his own, defended away by the drone from Joker. So much defensive coverage, but so many cooldowns burn, and one Rose Orb from Kainoob will seal the deal and advance the BOIS lead.
Yeah, BOIS with a phenomenal amount of momentum in that point, still having a barrier up at the end when all is said and done, and really just beginning to run away with this, almost literally in the case of the Kai, who's all the way in front of the air, and NATO, of course, has to respect that Monumentals will go back. Giga Blast just knocks the now away, doesn't even hit the core, but just by so much space, and the double, the punch into Crystal Thorn's beautiful combo there. Bit of a creative angle there through the middle of the night market, bouncing it off the side there, but does by a lot, and the barrage into punch is just brutal. What can Gumi do?
It's clinical from the Sad Boys here, and of course playing goalie as vulnerable as Era, you don't have the independent defensive tools to deal with something like that forever. And what can Gumi do is correct. He's got to find some offense. The team's got to find some offense before they get overwhelmed, and Scyther's looking to do just that.
Yeah, it was a great force on the core flip there, but on the rebound does manage to pick up a barrier, so it's still one barrier to one barrier. When all is said and done, Pendulum Swing is going to go wide. Unfortunately, does not get the pickup on the Estelle. Joker and Gumi both trying to get the defense here, and Scyther even have to go all the way back, but the NATO catches the Julie off guard. Bell's off the field. Pendulum Swing not going to catch the Estelle, but is going to buy some time. No, the Witching Beam tried to hit the Estelle when she went to the bottom, unfortunately, so the barrier will fall, and even in the negative power play, it's still forcing out the core flip as well. Tragedy striking Demon Time. NATO pushes the core all the way forward. Now it's in the hands of Scyther 12, but it just goes around. The barrage from Kai as well is pretty nice. Not going to get too much just yet, but it is going to stall in the middle of the field for just another second.
Some additional stalling, but they need a point. They need a barrier. Scyther with the barrier. A take opportunity now with the flip available, but Vaughn, the defense, is too good. So many cooldowns spent, but it doesn't matter when now they're on the offense. And Kainoob is there to back him up. It's such a dominant defensive duo, and Scyther looking to take it all with one rebound, but now it's Bells hits stun into position, almost the craziest point, as Scyther just hits it around both them into the corner, and that's going to be enough for a point.
1 point for Demon Time, although it was almost saved by Scyther 12 there with the Death's Touch, but doesn't happen in the end. Tragedy does not strike. And it is the opportunity for Demon Time to reverse sweep the set here. Pendulum Swing not going to find the barrier, nor with the proximity drone there. But Gumi has this core flip, has the NATO on the back line, so that's a lot of defense available. The punch from Julie not going to do too much there, but is just using the cooldown while it's available. The core flip forced out of Vaughn there, trying to get some forward pressure in the face of this Rasmus, but it's not going to find too much there. Punch defended again. Great strike from the Joker on that one. Whiplash going to be a bit of a dribble there. Core flip forced out from Julia to try and get the kill on the now, but she's just going to use the lifeline, teleport back into the corner as well. Pendulum Swing goes through Vaughn, and that is a barrier. First one here in the set, or in the point for Demon Time, as a Piercing Shot is able to secure a barrier for the BOIS as well. On the other side, flip at the last second from Gumi, beautifully done, even at the angle to get the barrier, forcing Vaughn on the defense there. Unfortunately, Scyther 12 is going to miss the strike, so the barrier will still stand for a little bit longer until now gets it.
Yeah, but the barrier on the other side is also looking dangerous here. Kainoob will take it. Big opportunity now for Bells, who is staying alive just barely. The last bit of energy used to keep his life, and that's not even going to matter as the point is scored by a Kainoob flip. It's 2-0 and dominant from the Sad Boys.
Yeah, 3-1 again. Demon Time not completely shut out at the very least, but it's Chrono Boost Kai, and I think that might be just the nail in the coffin.
Might just be 2 Dash Awakenings, a little bit of duration. Vaughn's going to be all over the map all the time, and Hotshot's going to fall down potentially, unless it's to deny. I guess the aerial is also a huge pickup for the Estelle. And my eyes are once again on the Bells Juliet. Tempo Swing, not going to be as impactful in this game as some others. But it's still going to be a factor when Bells is playing the 1v3 survival mode that he is.
Yeah, we've seen so many low health bars on that Julie, but we do see the Bewitching Beam as well. Great pickup there. Demon Time with the momentum this time at the beginning, but so much damage. Lifeline is used, but it doesn't matter. The Flurry gets a kill here. Juliet finding Rasmus there. Unfortunately, we are going to have a little bit of a stall here from Joker, and actually really nice in the face of this power play. Almost get the barrier as well, but the defense is pretty solid. They're not going to fall to just that. Piercing Shot picks up one barrier, but Scythe 12 is back on the field. So at the end of the power play, it is really just a barrier for barrier trade, and never mind. It's going to be Scythe 12 going off the field once again. It's tragic, but it happens. Gumi able to defend for a little bit longer, actually winning some great strike wars there, but the Piercing Shot is pretty hard to strike against there. NATO comes out and almost kills the Julie, but doesn't find the perfect angle on that one. Core flips available here for Gumi and Joker. One going to be used here trying to get around Vaughn, but he is able to get back in time. And that is a great pendulum swing into drone combo there. Core flip from Gumi, not counter flipped there as Bells wastes his own, unfortunately trying to get the counter on it. NATO comes through as well. Gumi playing all the way forward, dash touch as well, trying to find something with Bells actually is the one that gets the clear in the end. Still back on the field now, Kai playing up a little bit as well. Crystal Thorns push it forward, but it's not going to find the connection just yet. Dash punch onto the goalie, opens up the net here even more than it already was, but the goal is not found just yet. Barrage goes through.
Big barrage from Vaughn, and those double dash awakenings you pointed out, they're letting Vaughn play basically permanently on the other side of the map, and with a flip to spare, the Sad Boys are looking to take this in 3.
Yeah, I mean, they are looking very dominant here. There was a chance from Demon Time, but it was more of a second win than anything else, it seems, as they are not really able to get too much more pressure here. A strike around Gumi catches one barrier. The Juliet finds a really nice angle in the corner to stay alive as well. Finds the barrier as the NATO's cooking there. Dash Punch is not going to kill Scythe 12, but it gets him out of the way. The Flurry comes through as well. Piercing Shot behind it. And there's just not much you can do there. It wasn't a great evade save attempt, but it's just so difficult. Now, the boys 1 point away from game 1.
And they were so dominant, too, against so many other teams. Here, they were playing against a sub, so their perfect record against non-full starting rosters will potentially be maintained here, but I don't think anyone's surprised that even with a sub as powerful as Scyther, it is still the Sad Boys coordination looking overwhelming. They have dominated this season, except against the team sitting above them in the standings right now. And even this Manu NATO from Gumi, this error goalie, Vaughn has a flip approaching, Flame Flurry, and it's a perfect flip, looking to end the game right there, unable to do so.
Unfortunately, the barrage pushed forward a little bit too quickly on that one. Core flip from Scyther is able to get a barrier, and this is the chance that the Demons need to be able to get back in this, but it's a flip and a punch and a piercing shot. It's going to be the dash as well used, and it's going to be just snuck in along the bottom quietly into this one. After all the plays in the middle of it, it's just going to be a beautiful combo at the end. The boys take game 1 in absolutely dominant fashion.
It was not particularly close. The boys are looking in playoff form early this time. Of course, they have been known to drop some regular season games here and there, but they are always contenders when it comes to the North American Strikers League final standings, and are showing why with with the super team, with Kainoob. Bells, Vaughn, and Kainoob. What a roster.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be it might be the best in each role. I mean, I guess there's some argument for each of those, but at the very least, arguably the best player in each of the 3 roles there. So definitely not an easy team to go against, especially when they have the coordination you were talking about earlier. It just felt like a well-oiled machine. We saw a couple times, especially at the end there, it was the combo, not just from one character, but it was Estelle and Juliet putting in the work to get the kill there. Just beautiful to see that kind of team play there, and it's going to be an uphill battle, especially with a sub. Scyther 12, very good player, but there's only so much you can do as a player when you need to be a team.
Yeah, and again, like you mentioned, the scoring was just not there from Demon Time, and I think a lot of that was Joker having to play a lot of defense. And Joker is not a player known for his defense, right? He is a brawler midfield player. He is known for those scoring attempts, even when playing the midfield role. It felt like Joker had to play second goalie for this entire game.
Yeah, it also is the weakness of the era in that she's a very aggressive goalie. She can do a lot on the forward, but if she does get pressured, then there's only so much you can do. And with the Juliet Estelle combo, there's really no easy clear angle that you can take with the Bewitching Beam even. We saw several times great clears by Gumi, but it just wasn't ever completed. And we just see that the weakness of these kinds of skirmisher goalies, eject button, momentum boots that try to run around and not necessarily fight straight through like a wall goalie. And it is really plays into the hands of the boys on that one because they just have the coordination to catch every clear that you could possibly do, unless it's with the might of a wall or a melee goalie that can just shove it directly through.
Yeah, and we're heading into game number 2 here. It's a very, very different game, though. We're on Aimee Zap with a Deadeye Berserker start. We are guaranteed some violence, no matter how it looks. And with the newly buffed Berserker, I do expect this game to be quite explosive.
Yeah, newly buffed Zerker is sometimes in a bit of contention, but it can be a very powerful awakening. And honestly, I really like it just for the cooldown reduction, or the cooldown rate technically. It's just so nice to have. I'll just take it on random goalies just to have it. Don't even care about the power, but 50 cooldown rate is absolutely insane. I believe it's the highest out of any awakening in the game right now. Although you do have to be pretty low to make use of it, still pretty darn good.
Yeah, and as the draft starts, Estelle already taken off the board. That is pretty expected, right? The Sad Boys could threaten that pick on a Deadeye start. And if you're not going to pick it first, and of course on Aimee Zap, you do not want to pick an Estelle first. There's a certain lizard who has been set free.
It is indeed the Drakkar, very powerful on this map. I'd be surprised if he's not first picked here. One of the other things as well with the Berserker on Aimee Zap specifically, a little bit weaker just because there's so much more knockback KOing that happens. You don't necessarily get to the low health bar to actually use the stats. But it's actually going to be the Luna first pick here, which I do always love to see. Luna main myself. With that Deadeye available, it is kind of insane. There's even a case for Berserker again, cooldown rate. But it's going to be interesting to see because right now it's Rasmus, Julie, and Drakkar, kind of the big three on Aimee Zap that are available right now. And the boys could just 1-2, or they could pick up the Aimee Atlas, which is not a bad combo. Deadeye especially lets the Aimee do a lot of damage, a lot of knockback there. And then Atlas Aimee Zap just denies kill comps pretty well.
Yeah, it's very, very safe too, right? Both characters extremely good in the core control department. And as you mentioned, the burst KOs from Aimee. So it's a very, very safe nullifier to what Time might pick up here. But they do have 2 picks to work with, timers winding down, and I'm wondering what they'll opt for. They actually opt for the Octavia, a signature pick for the Joker, but I'm a little worried.
Yeah. Do you think they know that it's Aimee Zap? Because honestly, it doesn't look like either of these comps are Aimee Zap. If you told me that there was a draft happening and that Juliet is not even picked when we have 5 characters selected, it is just wild to me that we don't have Julie or Drakkar. Rasmus, kind of understandable, because especially at the higher levels, players learn how to dodge and they're not as susceptible to being hooked. Still a terrifying character. But it's wild to me that there's no such thing as a Juliet here, even on a Berserker start.
Yeah, it's a Lunar Rune combo being drafted for Time. They're looking for those KO secures, and it's going to be Zentaro instead. We're looking at a bit of the damage department, but we'll see if those explosive Aimee Zap KOs come through as well. A very interesting game. No Lizard to be found, no Juliet, no Rasmus, not even present in the bans. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, very interesting comps drafted. Honestly, playing a little bit into the more damage side, trying to use Berserker even. I wonder if that was a handshake that they did to try and damage comp on Aimee Zap. But it really does feel like a very different draft, maybe a little bit refreshing to see a different style of play than pure knockback KO, pure 1-2 punching Julies and Drakkars, as we will eventually head into the match here. But it's going to be interesting to see.
I am still very, very worried for Time, because picking Octavia in a moment like this, it is a comfort pick. It is a legendary pick for the Joker, but is this the right place?
It is definitely a place, and if you want it to be the right place, then you can say that it's the right place. Might not be true, but you can say it, you can take it. It might even just be a mental reset of like, you know, maybe we didn't do as well in the first game. Maybe we were expecting to do a little bit better. Let's fall back on comfort. It might not be the map for it. But at a certain point, you do just play better than the map. You know that you're a good player. You know you have what it takes to avoid things like the mid kill zone. You know you have the ability to play around some of the gimmicks. So you can afford to take some characters that are a little less conventional. And especially, I mean, with the Rune and the Luna running a lot of interference just on the players themselves, Octavia might just have the opportunity to go wild and just dribble around to her heart's content.
All right, heading into the game now, Luna Rune. And maybe some Octavia specials there as well to secure the KO. Time really need these banishes to come through, but it's going to be weird.
Yeah, it will be very weird how this plays. It's actually also going to be the Luna forward with the Rune in the goalie, which I do quite like, especially the Mom Boots pickup gives you a lot of flexibility and can basically play as a third forward. And since we did see that, you know, Gumi really likes to play that era, and of course he's pretty well known for playing a lot of those aggressive goalies, I don't think it's necessarily unheard of, and I don't think it's necessarily out of comfort. But we do also have First Blood immediately picked up by Kainoob there. Great combo from the IME, and it's followed up by a great combo from Bells onto the core, scoring a goal in a whopping 19 seconds.
Extremely fast and efficient, and we're seeing what we feared. The defensive Rune is quite powerful on Imi Zap due to how easy the barrier is to defend if you get those pillars down, but if you're overwhelmed immediately, then you're in a bit of trouble here, and these bounces, oh, if that pillar had a little bit more duration, it would have backfired.
Yeah, but backfiring is not going to be on the menu today just yet at the very least. Great defense as well, but Bells with the strike out of the Oni's Blade is going to take the barrier in the end. Great dribble off the hole from the Atlas as well. Vaughn playing up, showing that you don't need to play a typical goalie. You can just play Atlas and run forward. It also works pretty well. And the core flip passive from Zentaro. Bells taking yet another goal here. This time, a little bit longer, 29 seconds, but still pretty darn fast.
Fast and efficient, and also conserving a lot of meter on Vaughn here. Kainoob and Vaughn going to be looking to use their flips soon. The Firewall Sentry keeping the core trapped, keeping the offense going, and feeling like it's kind of countering the pillar here, as the banished core will take the barrier. An unfortunate interaction as Bells is sent off the map, but revived by the Celestial intervention. That's where the Atlas pick is coming in, as Joker looks for a hero play.
Yeah, Ash Protection is really great. The Glitch Pop as well does a ton of damage. The core flip from Vaughn, not intercepted Scyther 12, getting the read, but a little too slow on it in the end. Vaughn whiffs the strike as well. Ash Protection, Oni's Blade. So many abilities coming out, not quite getting the connections. Bell's trying to go for a creative dribble at the top. Strike shot as well is going to miss there. Gumi playing up as well, but Bells kills the Octavia there. Actually, it's the Glitch Pop instead. But anyways, Bells gets another goal here as the boys are really just dismantling deep.
Yeah, it is looking a little dominant as Bell's first pick. This draft does not have what Demon Time needs to swing right back into the lead. Heavy impact Zentaro, one of his best awakenings in the entire game, and of course there's stagger, but you got to find a win condition, and team player falls to Vaughn as well. I think Sad Boys are once again in full control, even in fuller control than they were in the previous set.
Yep, and it is really tragic there that Vaughn gets the team player just because they're already playing really good core control. Now the boys are going to have even more speed on that, but the Crater Maker into the base drop combo there does not matter in the end, actually, is what I was going to say, as once again, Kainoob finding the kills here. The IME just so powerful, especially with that Happy Star now to just do so much cooldown spamming, and that's going to be another goal scored. This time, 17 seconds, even faster than the first one, as Luna just has no opportunity to even try and stack orbs.
Explosive and just a little bit too fragile are the members of Demon Time. The boys picking up Zerker doesn't even feel like it's playing too much of a part. They're rarely ever staggered. It's their damage playing a big part in the offense. Gumi looking for a cheeky pillar to try and find the barrier, but these Imi Zap barriers are just too easy for an Atlas to defend.
Yeah, and he doesn't even really need to defend them. He's playing all the way on the other side of the field, playing as a third forward there just to back up any rebounds. There's not even really a threat on it for the most part. And again, extra special IME turret comes out, and it's such a good angle. Kainoob has just been hitting that same angle time and time again. And Bells keeps hitting the same angle to the bottom as well, with this time the goalie even dead to not even be able to save it. But, I mean, the boys, showing that Demon Time just really was not prepared for this one. They didn't pick a comp that fits the map very well, and, you know, maybe there's some comfort in there, but it does not seem to be working, as it has just been dominant all throughout this. And
the patience on defense from Vaughn, you mentioned that he's been able to walk up the layout of IMZAP, allowing that so well. This time, though, catching an early strike from Kainub as Joker, and with the net opened up, they might have a bit of a chance here. But this Vanish, this Pillar, the core being trapped by the Zentaro special, and the goalie KO'd as well. So much damage coming out in an instant. That's the power of the Zerker. Bells was staggered, so he did 3 million more damage.
Yeah, I mean, it really was just like the call an ambulance, but not for me, as he just turns around and one combos the rune off the map there. Beautiful play there by Bells, maybe even intentional to get low to get the maximum possible buff on it. As we see, not a lot of great kill awakenings, but there is fight or flight, there is peak performance, and there's also catalyst for Zentaro, especially with the recent buff to it, so you actually do get energy from hitting on it now.
Yeah, but back to a little bit of its former glory, as time was creator picked up for Aimee, and that is what we would have liked to see on the rune if Time were to win this game, but unfortunately, the Firewall Sentry gonna spell doom for a Time here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Demon Time really needs to find a way to slow down the game, stop the kills from happening. Crater Maker is a really nice way to actually get a lot of damage there, but there's not too much more. Doesn't die, fortunately, for the Luna there. Scyther 12 staying alive. Bell's also going to be using the dodge there, and kind of not able to get the barrier this time. Bells, though, will, even at the cost of a lot of health there. But again, a lot of damage, a lot of power, and Bells just eats the anomalies that Vaughn can get the goal. Good guy Bells giving his goalie a chance.
Yeah, big goal for Vaughn. Good guy Bells indeed, as it's so dangerous too in this game with the Zentaro having so much damage potential. If you get Bells low, then he becomes an even bigger threat, and I think we saw it in the last point. He dumped all his cooldowns immediately after almost becoming staggered. That's something that Time have to always watch out for, and that is something that is so difficult to play against.
Yeah, it really does just show a beautiful draft here from the side of the boys. Just even taking Berserker, the save as well from Vaughn there was amazing. The glitch pop as well, not going to find the kill, but that is going to be a core flip coming out up to the top. Oni's Blade behind it, not going to find anything just yet. Demon Time starting to find their footing in this, but it's a little late to be finding your footing in a set 3 when you're already down a point.
Down 0-2, down a point. Maybe a chance here. Bells, Gumi, what a strike. What a brilliant defensive play, but the Firewall Sentry is timeless and will find the goal. Just too difficult of a defense, and the Sad Boys 1 point away from speedrunning this series.
This could potentially be one of the fastest series we've had, at least in a while, as the boys are just, I mean, they were playing this a lot in the Night Market Knockout Tournament. They're getting a lot of practice on IMZAP, maybe even just as a practice for this day here. And they really show that they know what the map is like. But Joker managed to find one barrier. Vaughn playing a little too far up. The kill saved. Vaughn able to save himself on that one, as Scyther 12 not able to secure the goal. Does have the core flip, does have a dribble here. Cyber swipe backwards trying to get it, but Kainub just is able to strike it away. Bell's going to actually stall it and get a great passive play there, but it doesn't matter. It's a great redirect from Scyther all the way from downtown from Gumi's core speed off the flip, able to finally secure one goal for Demon Time. They are on the board, and this is the chance they have to reverse sweep the entire thing. You're down a game, you're down 2 sets, you're down 2 points. This is as far as it gets for reverse sweeps.
We'll see if they can make the impossible possible. The Banish goes wide, the Oni's Blade, and the Firewall Sentry once again. The barrier taken. It's looking inevitable, but the goalie's down. Vaughn caught by Joker. And that's something that we've seen a lot in the history of Omega Strikers, but Joker goes down as well as Scyther. It's time to make a hero play. Gumi walking all the way up the pillar to support, but the offense just isn't quite there, and Gumi's got to play so carefully. 3 seconds left. The pillar to backwards. Dash from Scyther actually helps out so much on the defense, but the pillar deflected on the goal line, and they manage to save it. Demon Time sends it around the world, and Vaughn hit stunned as the goal rolls quietly in. They're 1 point away from starting the reverse sweep.
I think that might have been one of the closest points we've ever seen. That core was right on the goal line, ready to claim the entire series for the boys, but somehow the incredible defense holds. This time as well, the Firewall Sentry doesn't get the perfect angle, so Gumi's able to get the defense as well. Scyther 12 low, but has the option to go for an orb, and of course has that orb dancer to rotate around pretty nicely. Glitchtrap not going to find the kill either. Bells finds one barrier, so this is the chance here. We have the anomaly. We have Kainu trying to get it around. Kratomir comes out as well. Base drop used, getting it to the corner there. Glitchtrap is not going to find the answer either. Joker still alive for now. Going to use the secondary to that flow state to try and get around, but Firewall Sentry is really nice this time. Kainu has the core flip in front of the net, is not going to be able to make much use. A great pass from Scyther, but Joker unfortunately whiffs the strike on that one. But the flip forced out of Vaughn. Bell's in the corner with the flip. The banish goes a little bit wide. The Oni blade, the flip comes out. The cyber swipe as well. Core flip from Kainu to secure the series. Last time, the core flip from Kainu ended up getting Vaughn killed by knocking the Joker back down. This time, he redeems himself by scoring the match-winning goal.
What a hyperblink at the very end. The positioning so scary. And the match-winning goal, of course, set up. Brilliant from the Sad Boys. Signs of life from time, but as you said, during that set, those signs of life were a little bit too late to really contend here. And time, still great in the standings, right? They're pretty locked in a playoff spot. They still got 5 wins. The top 4, in fact, looking very safe and secure in their positions. But a win here would have been nice.
Yeah, I mean, you get that second seed, and I believe you have the option. You're part of the choosing process for which way the bracket goes. You get a higher seed, you get a little bit of a better chance, especially. Just an easier bracket, which is not necessarily what these players are in for. They're not necessarily in to just play the easiest game possible. They do seem to really like playing these tough matches and duking it out, but at the same time, if you have the option, you might as well win early so that you can have that easier path to it. And boys, I mean, I hate to say it, I hate to always be down on players, but boys, again, just dismantled time on this one. I can't say anything else, but this was a stomp. 2 points on Imi's app. Not too many kills, but it was just an overall controlled game from the boys.
Yeah, very, very, very nice. And this is something that we'll have to see heading into playoffs, right? The boys have secured a very, very high position. They have secured top 2, in fact. And they could even be first seed heading into playoffs if the Rat Pack out of nowhere decide to collapse and lose 2 straight. Unlikely, but not an impossibility.
I mean, hey, that's why we watch these things, so that we can see those impossibilities happen, like the one defense from Demon Time that was insane. You never think those things are going to happen, but out of nowhere, you can have comebacks, you can have breaths of life, you can have a lot of different things happen. So definitely a lot more exciting things to see as we continue with the next match. But first, a little bit of a break.
Match point of Grand Finals, a long journey, all comes down to this. Looking for a passing lane, there's the opening on the outside, the pass, it's wide open, a beautiful shot to the corner, they've reached the summit!